Hi to my journal making and crafty friends out there. I have another project that presented itself to me while I was making the Fairies and Unicorns journal. This placemat was going to be a writing page for the Fairies and Unicorns journal, and I was set on that. I was going to cut it down and make this into a writing board. It was the right colors, and I just love this placemat, and was excited about that. And then all of a sudden I realized, no, it's not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be its own journal. So I started collecting all of the tidbits and items and things that are going to go together to make this new journal. And I'm looking forward to see how it's going to turn out. I'd love to have you join me if you're interested, and looking forward to spending time with you and seeing how this ends up looking. If you're new, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. It's a little bit hard to tell with the way YouTube works unless someone lets me know that they're a new subscriber. I usually don't know, so I have met a few of you, but I do know there are some of you out there I haven't met, and would love to have you introduce yourself if you'd like to. These are the pages that I had put together. These are magazine pages and some handmade paper and different things I pulled together. This is a piece of scrapbook paper. I'm going to make it into a folded page with a pocket. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is work on putting these together. I've got the signature put together. It's just going to be one, and I was inspired to make this mostly kind of a lookbook of really neat magazine pages, and I've never done that before. Usually I put a lot of writing paper in here. I'm going to decorate the magazine pages. I'm going to put some writing paper in here. These are just inspiring pages, and so I've got them sewn around. I've got the washi tape putting them together, and just doing a quick flip through of that. I did a lot on this page already, and so that's the signature. It's going to fit in there nice. I went ahead and obviously measured around and made it the right size. I used one piece and then used it for my template. I have this cluster that I like for maybe putting as the front of this journal, and this is an inspirational journal for me, the pictures, and so I'm liking that, and I think that's kind of cool. I'm just gonna center that, I think, on there, and then put some dots of glue on the back. Then I'm just going to cut a little off this side here. Okay, and then I'll glue this on there. I've been debating around the idea of putting another piece of either paper or fabric on the back of this and just having a border with the paisley, and I haven't decided for sure, so I'm not going to glue that down just yet. I'm playing around with the closure ideas, and I looked at this, the other earring that, so I used this as a closure on the Fairies and Unicorns. I thought since this journal was inspired by the Fairies and Unicorns, well, I could use it as my closure, and that would be okay if I did that, but it's a little bit small, so since it's a little bit small, I'm kind of leaning away from this one. And then I have this cute little teddy bear. I think these go in Crocs, and I found this on my trip to Tampa, Florida. over Christmas. It's adorable, and it's cute. It could work, but it's a little bit juvenile, I guess, for this journal. What I am gonna go with is this. It had some ribbon on it, and I painted it with pink paint, and then I put a die cut over it. I'm gonna put some kind of sewing through this button, and then glue the button on here, and then this will be a nice catch for the the ribbon when I close the journal. So I think I'm going to go with that. So what I'm doing now is embellishing some throughout the signature. I've added a little bit of embellishment so far, and I know I said I wasn't going to add a lot of paper, and I'm not going to add a whole lot of paper, but I did want to add some, so I've done that. Added a few bits of paper, and I have worked on a little bit of embellishment to put in here, so I'm going to do a little bit of that. I still have all of this. I want to use up most of it. It's fun sometimes to just take these random pieces that they're just random, and just put them on, and then just start building on top of it and see what happens. I like that. I'm going to put that there. Boy, this is a very busy page, but I don't know. I kind of like that, so I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put a little something on this page. This piece of scrapbook paper here. And then I sewed these two pieces of fabric together and put that over top of that. Not exactly over top of it, but right next to it. Over here on this page, I'm going to put this little cluster I made. I love how it gives dimension to it. It's nice to feel it. I'm going to just put this dragonfly piece that I've sewed around here, make a pocket. I'm going to make this a little tab here, because it'll kind of stick out from the page, and I think that'll be cool. So just putting this on here at the edge so it will stick out. And then I've fussy cut two of these out, and I'm going to stack them over top of each other like that. What I like to do is take a wet wipe, and something like this, if I kind of just dab over it, it seems to make the glue stick all the way around and gets those little edges down, and that way they stick as well. So that's cool. Now it has a little tab. I took these little squares I'd cut out and glued them together. I thought that made a neat belly band, and I think I'm going to glue that right here. I'm debating on sewing right down the middle to be sure that they all hold together for when I slide things in and out. But I sort of like it without. Okay, I did it. Went ahead with a straight stitch, and I'm going to leave the strings a little bit hanging out on this one. All right, belly band done. Little bitty strings. I think I'm going to look through here and see if I can find a coffee filter pocket that I want to put in here. love using this handmade paper. At some point, I guess I'm going to run out. And that's going to be a sad time. I'm going to put these little angels from a printable I bought here in this little window where it says, "Shift your outlook." That looks like a perfect place for them. I'm going to put this belly band on the back of that piece of paper, and I just put a little stitch there, a little stitch on the other end, and cut the ends the opposite way from each other. And just going to glue those ends down. I'm going to go through here now and just be adding some clusters and things like this throughout the rest of the journal and using up the rest of those little scraps. And I guess what I've been doing for the past few months is just challenging myself to use up my scraps, and it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. I'll always use scraps, but I've had just a lot of scraps lately that I've been wanting to work through. So if that's been helpful to you, I'm so glad. It's certainly been helpful to me. I've enjoyed just getting those kind of all put away, tucked away nicely in a journal. I'm going to go ahead and bind it into its cover, just doing the usual 3-hole stitch, getting all my papers set in the place that I want them first. And I'm going to use black thread, binding thread, to do that. And tie it off. And so now I'm going to just decorate this one piece of fabric that I'm going to use for the closure. I'm just going to wrap it around simply like that. It's just going to be one piece. I'm going to use these beads for my closure tassel. Ah, success! I'm tying it off at the bottom. Okay. I think that goes well with this book plate. I'm leaving this plain because it's pretty like it is, so I didn't want to cover it up. And I'm just going to be putting some things in. This was made from a clothing tag. And another little tag, reminding me to be thankful. Ended up adding a heart to this, and it has a couple little leaves I put out there. It reminds me of an angel's wings. And I like how this turned out. I'd never done this before, like I said, and I like how that ended up turning out. And I like these textured feeling paid pieces that are put in here. It's really neat. On this one, I made just a small collage, and then I let this ribbon hang over, and that makes a little tab. Another belly band. Not all who wander are lost. There's a cluster. Kind of like, that looks like males coming out of the top of that. Little postcard. And this is the card where I get my hair cut. Just a simple, this reminded me of a lotus flower. And just put a little collage on the back. It's good to laugh daily. I like it when days work out and there's something to laugh about. Most days that's the case. There's usually something that we can laugh about. And then collaged on this page, put a piece of ribbon here, trim actually, piece of trim, like how that feels. And just put a little piece of ribbon there on that. Need to find a spot for this one last tag. Where shall he go? Let's just put it here for now. That looks pretty with this page. I think I'm going to paper clip it on there. I like how that looks on top. I love these heart paper clips. And this one last thing, I have a whole bunch of paper placemats, and I was going to make this into a bookmark. I'm going to paper clip it in this page for now. Maybe I'll do something with it later. I'm sure I probably will. That's the end of this video. Thank you so much for being here with me till the end. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would appreciate it so much. And if you feel like leaving a comment, I would love to hear from you and how maybe you've had some ideas that came from watching this video. I hope to see you again, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.